welcome to a little segment I like to call Steph's Pick. Yeah, I know it doesn't rhyme, shut up. I'm doing a review for the movie Premonition, which actually came out a few weeks ago, starring Sandra Bullock and Julian McMahon. The movie is centered around Linda, a housewife whose world is turned upside down when her husband Jim is dead one day, but alive the next. The timeline spans over 1 week, split into two halves where Jim lives and Jim is dead. It begins on Thursday when Linda gets a knock on the door from the local sheriff telling her that her husband was in a fatal car accident the day before on Wednesday. After a surreal daze, she wakes up the next morning and goes downstairs to find him sipping coffee and watching television. At first, she kind of convinced herself it was just a dream, but the next morning she arises and finds a large group of people that are gathered for his wake. Her life unravels at an alarming rate with each passing day as she chaotically jumps back and forth between before and after that Wednesday, and she begins talking with people she's never met and seeing the end results of things that she doesn't remember happening. Rather than become a victim, Linda attempts to take control of the situation, and slowly but surely making connections between past and present events and learning what's behind each occurrence. She seems desperate to save the life of her husband, even though you come to understand that their marriage is crumbling. The clock counts down to the final day, Wednesday, when all the pieces of the puzzle come together and you see not only whether Jim lives or dies, but the reason why this happened to Linda in the first place. You have a 50-50 shot at predicting whether Jim lives or dies, but the reason behind the time skip was the farthest thing I would have imagined. That kind of threw me for a loop. The plot presents many different possibilities, like is it all in her head? Is she the one doing this? Is it another character's doing? Is it some sort of warped design? Later in the movie, Linda even begins to toy with like a dark, contrasting notion, asking herself, what if I let him die? Like, murderously. Like, what if I just let him die? The actors portrayed their characters pretty well, and both prove they have good range. The plot builds upon itself very well, with only one arguable inconsistency, and not a moment is wasted. You may be confused at first, but rest assured everything does come together in the end. As with the genre, little clues are left everywhere if you don't end up letting them be casual oversights. The music was excellent and supported the creation of desired emotions and effects. From the reactions of both viewers and critics, you either love it or you hate it. Admittedly, this is a thinking movie, and it requires you to pay attention. If you're looking for mindless, I can't even see 300. I love the movie, and it's been out for a couple weeks, so you kind of have a good idea of who loves it, who hates it. I'm going to give it a thumbs up, and anyone who's into like psychological movies, you should go see it too.